Jesus says, by bearing fruit, you will prove to be my disciples. It's one thing to say you're a Christian. It's another thing to prove it. Many, many people lay claim to the title of Christian today. But do they prove it? You say, well, how do we prove it? We prove it by bearing much fruit. So Jesus doesn't look down, I believe, on denominations or church organizations or those that are identified by some particular human label. He just looks very simply, very practically for one thing. Where he sees fruit, he says, that's one of my disciples. So let me counsel you not to concentrate so much on doctrinal issues, denominational controversies, all of which tend to cut off fruit. Let me suggest that you concentrate in your life on meeting the conditions to bear fruit, and thereby you'll do two things. First and most important, you'll glorify God the Father. Second, you will prove that you really are a true disciple of Jesus Christ. The third result of bearing fruit is remaining in God's love. In John 15:9, Jesus says this, as the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. What a blessed and wonderful picture that is, to remain in the love of Jesus, not to stray from it, not to wander away, not to come to a place where we lack that particular warmth, that particular sense of God's presence, which is His love. Nothing in this life can compensate for losing the love of God out of our lives, the love of Jesus. And Jesus says, if you remain in me, you'll bear fruit and you'll remain in my love. You see, remaining in love of Jesus is the place of total security and fulfillment. When we are in the love of Jesus, then all our deepest needs are fully met. There is a place of security in God. I always think in this connection of the words of Paul in Colossians chapter 3. You died, and your life is hid with Christ in God. There is a hidden life, which is with Christ in God. It's the life that comes out of remaining in the love of Jesus. There's total protection. You're protected by being in Jesus and by being in the Father. It's the double covering of the life that abides in Christ. It's not visible on earth. Paul says it's hidden now, but one day it's going to be revealed. The world maybe cannot see it now, but those who are in it know that they're in it. They walk through life with a serenity and a confidence that other people stare at and are amazed at. But if they've never tasted and experienced the love of God, then they cannot understand its true source or its true nature. The fourth result of bearing fruit is double joy. Divine joy and human joy. This is a most wonderful picture. John 15:11, Jesus says this, I've told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Notice Jesus speaks about two different joys, my joy and your joy. And he says, if we remain in him and bring forth fruit, we will know both joys. What are they? Well, it's clear to me that Christ's joy is the joy of his personal relationship as a child, as a son with God the Father. This is his abiding joy. But then he says we'll also have our own joy, which I believe is the joy of our relationship with Jesus. So in Jesus, we first of all have the joy of that relationship, and then we share with Jesus the joy of his relationship with the Father. It's a double joy. His joy in us and our joy made complete, but it's the outcome of bearing fruit. Let me then briefly, to close, sum up these 4 results of bearing fruit. First of all, answered prayer. Ask whatever you wish and it'll be done. Second, the Father glorified. And together with that, the proof that we really are the disciples of Jesus. Third, remaining in God's love, the place of true security and fulfillment, the hidden place that the world doesn't see and the world can't touch. And fourth, the double joy, the joy of Jesus in his relationship with the Father, and then the human side of joy, our relationship with Jesus.